point having spare men all the time at the back. And so I thought Manchester United, or I think they'll be really disappointed with that. As I say, Yoro's got to then push in. There could have been a tackle. Yoro again got a little bit on it, but not quite enough. I mean, fantastic goal from Everton's point of view. They really worked it well, but I think Manchester United outnumbering Everton like they did. It's all right having numbers, but unless you're going to press the ball, unless you're going to make a challenge, unless you're going to get it tight, it doesn't matter if you've got extra numbers. And Manchester United are always safe. They've always got extra players. They play that back three, and half the time they're only marking one man. I often think, it's the easiest job in the world for a defender. You have one man, you've got to mark, with three players, you've got to mark them. And as soon as anyone comes near you, you still don't go even, and close them down. I'd be furious if I was a Manchester United manager.
OK, well, let's get a Manchester United reaction. One of those defenders, here he is, Matthias de Ligt.
Matthias, what's your reaction to that? I imagine a lot of frustration.
Yeah, of course. I think the game says enough. Against 10 men for 70 minutes, conceding a goal, not creating that many chances. Yeah, today was not a good night for us.
Why do you think you weren't able to take advantage of having the game against 10 men for such a long time in that match?
Yeah, it's always difficult. Obviously, against 10 men, they drop a little bit more. They have 4 guys of 2 meters in the back, so crosses is going to be difficult. I think we lacked the patience to play between the lines, to play on the floor. Instead, I think we crossed a lot of balls, but obviously they are really strong in that aspect. So, but still, then we have to do much more than this.
There's been a lot good about Manchester United in recent weeks. It's felt like you've been making real progress. Did tonight feel like a step back from that?
I think in all aspects today felt like a step back. Not only the result, the intensity, the focus, the way, I don't know, the way we were fighting for each other, suffering for each other. Yeah, today felt definitely like a step back compared to the last weeks.
A step back, and probably a step back most didn't see coming, particularly against 10 men at home.
No, there's been good vibes at Manchester United over the last, few weeks, and all the messages coming out there. Everyone's happy, and with the performances, with the results, and they were certainly favourites to win the game tonight. And then obviously Everton going to 10 men, you think they're just going to kick on and win the game comfortably. But I think, as the Ligt just said there, they forced too many balls. They were crossing the ball at times when they didn't need to cross it. They stayed a bit more patient and pull Everton out of position. That was a big problem for them tonight, and I would like to see them change the system. I know Luke Shaw and Lenny Yoro were stepping in and trying to add an extra player in midfield, but when you're playing against and you've got one extra player, I think having a more creative player in a natural position, naturally in there, would have made the difference. So yeah, I think Ruben Amorim and the Manchester United players will be very disappointed with tonight's performance.
Before the game, in the absence of Šeško and then Cunha, we had a deep discussion about Joshua Zirkzee. Ironically, a couple of headers, in fact, the 3 clear-cut chances in the second half all fell to him.
They did, and he could have scored, but I can't watch him and get excited, I must admit. I mean, Cunha missing today is a big blow. He was the closest to scoring for Manchester United.
That's a hell of a save, isn't it?
It's a fantastic save, but they're almost resorting to playing like this, Manchester United, just hopeful crosses because he's in there. I mean, if you've got Cunha playing, if you've got Fernandes playing a little bit higher, if you've got a different profile of player up there, you probably don't go, and just knock crosses in all game. And of course, 1 or 2 of them landed on the button, and they could have scored. Of course, they could have. But it's not really how Manchester United want to play. And I always think when you start just lumping the balls in, it almost becomes desperation. And as I say, there are a couple of headers there that went close. But I ask you this: if you were Everton, if you were David Moyes, what are the best aspects of your team? In terms of defensively, especially. I would be rubbing my hands together if someone says, right, as I say, 1 or 2 of them landed on Zirkzee's head. But I just feel that the way Manchester United are playing at the moment, prior to tonight, it's not the right profile of player. He doesn't excite me at all, does Zirkzee?
OK, we'll pick that up again in a moment after we've heard from the United manager. Here he is, Ruben Amorim.
Ruben, what are your thoughts after that game?
I think they were the better team with the 11 players or 10, and I felt since the first minute that we were not there with the same. What we need to do in every single moment of the game. If they have 10, let's push the opponent to the final third, to be near any transition, to be focused, really to be focused in the game.
In the second half, you had plenty of the ball, you had plenty of chances, but couldn't put them away. Did you feel as though you just needed something to drop in the back of the net? But when you did have a good effort, Pickford was in fine form, wasn't he?
Yeah, that can happen, but I think they look for the luck, and they deserve it. We need to do more.
You've been in good nick up until tonight, 5 games unbeaten. So does this feel like it's a big step backwards?
Yes, especially in the way we play the game. Forget about the results. The results is also really bad, but I'm more concerned with the feeling that I had during the game.
What's the situation with Cunha? What was the injury? What's the problem with him?
Let's recover Cunha and then we'll see if he'll be ready for the next game.
How pleased were you with the way that Josh Sturksey led the line this evening?
He did all right, but I think everyone should play better tonight.
Obviously, your frustration is clear to see. What kind of things have you said to your players at the end of the game then?
Nothing. We have training tomorrow. I will deal with that tomorrow.
Thanks for your time, Ruben. Thank you. Cheers.
Well, Wayne, you can see how unhappy he is. And the obvious question that fans all want is, after being unbeaten in 5, and like you say, all the positive vibes, why at home against 10 men have they lacked intensity, in the manager's words?
Yeah, you don't know. I think you've had a lot of players away on international break as well who are flying back. So you don't have the time to work with the team that much, but so maybe that's a factor. But Michael knows as well, sometimes you train against 10 men and it's very difficult to break down if they're organised well and you've got everyone working. It's difficult to break them down and get the clear-cut chances if they defend well and they work hard. So I think Man United's game plan had to change as well tonight when Everton went to 10 men. So they had to change the game plan on how they played the game, and they didn't do it well enough. They didn't, as the manager said, they didn't have that intensity, and that cutting edge, I think, was missing tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I look at that team and I just think it was going so well with certain players in certain positions, and today there were some important injuries, and if it's like for like, if you're still playing in the same type of way, then I think it can sort of work. But just, you know, Cunha's a big miss. You know, those players that actually take the ball, that drive, that make runs, that are positive, that take risks. You know, we highlighted something before the game, you know, Manchester United a year ago and Manchester United in recent games. And actually in the first 10 minutes, straight away, you could say, oh my word, that's what we were just showing before the game in the short clips. Xerxes up front, very, very little movement, waiting for the ball. Okay, a couple landed on his head and he had a couple of efforts, but that was going back 12 months, and that's not what Manchester United need to be doing.
OK, the other side of the story, here he is. He's won at Old Trafford for the first time as a visiting manager at the 18th attempt. David Moyes.
David, congratulations. Just talk us through how proud you are of that performance tonight.
Well, incredibly proud of the players and the supporters here today, because we've had so many encounters here, we've not got a result. We've come close a lot of times, but not quite been able to go over the line. But tonight, incredibly, we got over the line with 10 men, which was probably the hardest way to get a good result here.
Just talk me through your feelings when that full-time whistle went.
Well, I felt actually for all the supporters who had made the journey, and obviously for long parts of the game we had to just sort of sit in and defend. I thought we started the game brilliantly well, passed the ball well, looked quite comfortable in lots of things we were doing, and then we got the sending off, which meant the sort of game changed. But you know, the resilience and the toughness behind the scenes at Everton's really good, and the players had to show that tonight.
Is that the most pleasing part of tonight, the way that your side reacted to what did happen early on?
Well, look, to go down to 10 men here outside, look, let's be fair, Manchester United are in pretty good form at the moment and playing much better. So it was never going to be an easy game for us tonight with 11 players. But to do it with 10 was an incredible job by the players, fantastic. But good goalkeeping, good resilience defensively when we needed it. Boys were brave enough to try and take the ball at the right moment, certainly in the first half. Second half was much harder. But overall, you know, it'd be very hard to fault them for how they played tonight. They were so good.
There were two big moments really at the start. The fact that you lost your captain, Seamus Coleman. First of all, how is he?
I was surprised because Seamus has played a few games, but it's just felt a nick in his hamstring. So that was it, and that happened very quickly. So that was a disruption to us as well. And then obviously the sending off as well. So those things happen in football. You have to cope with them. It's not easy at times to cope with them, especially losing a player. They're losing a player through a sending off. But look, the players done a brilliant job tonight in making sure that we got something from the game.
What did you make of what happened with the red card? Because we don't see that very often.
No, we don't, and I'm surprised. I think if nothing happened, I don't think MD in the stadium would have been surprised. I thought the referee could have maybe taken a little bit longer to think about it. Maybe just going over and sorted it, had a think about it. I'm sort of getting told the rules of the game means if you slap even your own player or you lift an arm in some way, then you could be in trouble. But you know, there's another side of it. I quite like my players fighting each other and you know, getting annoyed with each other because it was a bad ball or someone didn't do the right action. I think that's part of it. If you want a winning team and you want that resilience and the toughness which got us the result, then I think you have to have players who are going to act that way. And I'm disappointed we get the sending off, but everybody will tell you we've all been footballers, and the ones who have been will tell you that quite often, you know, you'll get angry with your teammates.
Well, these two never got angry with anyone, obviously, but not each other anyway. We did obviously talk live to James Tarkowski. He was honest enough to say that Garner Gay has apologised, Michael Keane's accepted it, and they can move on.
Yeah, that'll be the win helps.
I was going to say.
The win obviously helps, because if they don't win the game, then
it's a bigger issue.
I think that Moisey's interview would have been a little bit different, but no, listen, it has brought them together. They fought for each other rather than fighting each other, which has got them over the line. So yeah, I think that'll be pushed under the carpet quite quickly, and they'll move on from now.
And that's all they can do, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is an element of truth. You know, the successful teams are the ones that have a little bit of needle. They demand a lot from each other. So I do get what he's saying, but Wayne's right. I mean, that interview would have been so much different if they hadn't got the result. So they can smile about it now.
They certainly can. Gentlemen, Wayne, great to have you with us. Thank you very much. Indeed. Well, he's waited a long time, David Moyes. 18 visits to Old Trafford as a visiting manager. Doing it the hard way, he's finally won there.